That's the team that plays to win for you and me.
Welcome back, Shin Boners. On today's pod, we'll be previewing this coming weekend's game against the Saints, talking about the big talking points throughout the week and doing a live reaction to the teams when they drop in about 25 minutes. So stay tuned for our live thoughts on that. To help me get through it, we've got the Big Chief. He's been relieved of his hosting duties, but I must say, pretty good first go from you last week. How has the week been? Probably a few calls from a few media outlets.
No, none at all.
You couldn't go to Fox. Wouldn't be able to call you Big Chief. It's a strictly first name only on there.
I've got him covered.
No, they're not. You haven't caught up during the week. They're not allowed to say Joey Montagna. It's Lee. And King's David. They put a ban on nicknames.
Why? That's un-Australian to start with.
I agree. Was
What's
ridiculous.
the reason?
I don't know. More professional, I suppose. It's because I think they cracked it when they started referring to Dwayne as the pipe.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. That's news to me. But we'll still run. You can still run with Big Chief.
Well, I will be anyway. Let's start talking about the news for the week. So, Toby Pink has extended for another year, where after the Carlton game, I believe, it was reported that he was going to get a 2-year contract extension, just the one, which I'm very happy with. He's a good journeyman, Toby, and he's been in pretty solid form this year, but we've burned ourselves too often with average to good players getting too long, i.e. Fisher, Pollock, Stevens, Logue, and co. So, I don't mind. No one is going to take him. So, just the 1 year. Keep proving yourself and you'll keep getting contracts.
Yeah, I like it. I could live with 2, but no more than 2, but one's even better. Because it just gives the list flexibility. And no one's coming for him.
No, exactly.
No.
And then Greg Swan, first official week, and you've got some strong thoughts on what he's going to bring?
Yeah, well, he was on 360. AFL 360 with the G's. Are you allowed to say that? Or Jared and Gary. Because they're part of the Fox network, so you can't go with nicknames. And I didn't watch it, but I did see it on their website where they quizzed him on his first week in the hot seat and what rules he's going to perhaps change or tweak. And I've got some easy fixes for him, right? 666, no warning. Straight away. We've been saying that for 6 years. Laura Kane couldn't get it done. Do it.
It's ridiculous.
666, if you're out of position.
There's that long in between goals anyway. They're not looking at the scoreboard.
30 seconds while they had to run the ads for Harvey Norman. Yeah, exactly. And he also mentioned they might get rid of one of them having to be in the cage. I actually like that one's in the cage.
So do I.
Because they could go back to just all hanging around the 50 and then run through. Well, I suppose that's a coaching thing, but that's a very easy fix which should have been done 5 years ago after they had one season to get used to it. The MRO, finally, more flexibility. So maybe a football act, hello Paul Curtis and Jacko Archer, and maybe the North Lawyers might want to get their head around this as well. Lot less suspension rather than just using the table, and I understand why they brought the table, the matrix in, so there'd be consistency, because that's a big scream. There's always been a best player tax who don't get the same as some little nobody. The big club tax get off what little clubs don't get off, as in the penalties, the like for like are never the same. So they brought in a matrix, but that hasn't worked because you can't go down, basically. You can only go up. You can't go down. So a football act that may be more an accident than a bit of filth gets 3 weeks. And we don't need to go on about that anymore. But he also mentioned the gut punches. That's suspending them for rather than fine. Because obviously the suspension hurts players more than the fine. But what will happen? Someone will do a little love tap preliminary final and they'll be all, you can't miss a grand final because of that. It's too severe. So put that on the watch list because that'll definitely come up. That can be my early predictions for next year's pod. Season predictions. That someone will talk about that. The sub rule, how easy is that to fix? Gone.
Just get rid of
Gonski. That'll help some teams who want to play 2 ruckman. Which brings me in the next one. The bounce. He doesn't like the bounce. I was probably a bit old school and liked the bounce, but get rid of it. Get rid of it. Throw it up. Make it easy for the umpires. The umpires are there to umpire, not do party tricks. Throw it up. I won't lose any sleep if they change that. The stand rule. Oh, sorry, while we're still on the ruckman, the other holding, waiting for them to come. 25 seconds to get to where the throw in is or the ball up is in the forward pocket. Nah, throw it up straight away. And ruckman nominating, I'll get rid of that. The two ruckmen who take the centre bounce, there you nominate a ruckman. If they can't get there, someone else throws their hand up. Because the only reason you need to nominate is so someone can't illegally block. So if Big X can't get there, then Souv in the forward pocket can throw his hand up, let the umpire and the opposition know, I'm rucking this one, yep, bang, throw it up. And then the next contest, if it's back to X, he just does the same. But other than that, it's whoever takes a centre bounce. That's an easy fix. And throw the damn thing up. That'll also bring in two ruckmen. You'll need a better ruck forward. Or ruck back. Maybe the ruckman will change their whole position and they'll go back to the 70s and 80s and they'll play a kick behind the play. And let the Jack Daniels of the world take the forward of centre ruck. Who knows? There's lots of coaching possibilities there.
Jack Darling.
Well, it's almost happy hour, so maybe I got a bit early on the Jack Daniels.
I was wondering what you were on about.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I have a few Jacks and start doing the pod, it'll be very loose. And I'll really say what I think. But we say what we think anyway, don't we? What else have I got here? The ruck roulette. He brought that up. He called it ruck lotto, but we've been calling it ruck roulette as long as we've been doing the pod and even previously to that. It's just, the ruckman, no one knows which way it's going. The free kick. It's just ridiculous. He also brought in, and this may affect my man, the Big X, because they changed the rules so he could go across and body contact, push in the chest. He wants them to get back to jumping. So I reckon he'll ban that going across, and that may affect our man, because he's, coincidentally or not, as soon as they changed that rule is when he rose to power. So I'd have an eye on that if I was North, but we have got a 207 centimetre ruckman in the rating in the wings as well. So that'll be an interesting watch. I reckon he'll make a lot of changes, not like the previous administration who just had meetings and junkets and didn't change anything.
Went and watched a few Super Bowls and everything else.
Yes.
Just to write down nothing and change nothing.
Well, what else did he miss? Last touch out of bounds. And his reason for that is he basically hinted that would come in. Because he said it's basically that now. Well, it's not. And that would change the whole game, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
we've seen what it does in the AFLW. It narrows the ground, doesn't it? Because you can't go anywhere near the boundary. But I suppose, once again, it would take the umpires out of it, hopefully. But they still make mistakes. We see them make mistakes within the AFLW. So I don't want that one coming in. Score review. Now, let's rewind to last week, where we had the great seats behind the goals. And Blitzarves missed the goals completely from about 1 metre out and kicked it behind. And we had a great angle at it and could clearly see it was a point. But they went to goal review. I think he gave it a goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
The umpire gave it a goal. He didn't even hit the post. He missed the post from where we were standing. From about 1 metre out, so it was quite quick, but he should have seen it. And luckily, they had the goal review and it came back as a point because no umpire called for the review. Yet it was clear as day for us and everyone in our stand. And then they had another one, went Geelong's way, where it clearly hit the post. And the umpire called a review. The goal umpire, he's got to earn his money and make a decision, man. Because didn't just snick it. You didn't need snicko. It's come off the middle of the bat, so to speak.
Went past gully.
Yeah, it was a thick edge, and we clearly saw it and heard it, and the post was still wobbling when he's calling for the review, so let's tidy that up. That'll do. I think I've covered enough. That's what Swan's got to deal with over his first pre-season, and I reckon he'll change a fair bit before next season starts.
He does, and I think it'll be hard for him to do any worse than the previous administration, but I think he'll do well. Anyway, there's a question that was sent in after we recorded the last pod that I wanted to get to from David, who's got a bit of feedback, which has been very respectfully done. So thanks, David. I'll read it out now. He says, best podcasts on football, love the passion. Question, everyone saw the footage on the first crack and you rightfully so called out everyone except for Colby. Are you going easy on him because he's a Tasmanian boy?
Yes.
Because he's one of the worst offenders. Now, I'll answer this. But, I don't think I mentioned Hardiman either from memory, but maybe I did. But Colby, there was only 1 or 2 clips, and yes, he is. But the reason I didn't go as hard on him is, A, for what he does offensively, but more importantly, I thought I was pretty fair on going hard at Logue and Daniel, more because they played a lot of footy and they had experience and they should know a lot better. And they're supposed to be, particularly Logue, he's supposed to be a lockdown play on someone, and he was just so lost in the system. So I appreciate the question. Probably the honest answer is I probably just forgot about Colby.
Yeah,
when addressing it.
Colby, he's a 19-year-old or just turned 20. He's, under 50 games. Same with Stevie Hardiman, who's even less experienced. And they're more attacking. So they're bringing attacking weapons, so they're making up for their lack of defensive. But he's right that the whole team needs to have a good hard look at themselves. But Logue particularly, he's a key defender. He's not the offensive weapon user out of defence. So he should be in charge of the defence when Elmac's not there, or even when he is there. Like, he's a senior body we got to bring in, and same with Caleb Daniel. Even though he's meant to be more the user out of the back line, you still got to be defensively accountable.
Well, he was vice
as does, and he's right, as does Colby and Stevie Hardiman and all of them down there.
Agreed, but no, I thought I'd just answer that one. That it was probably the combination of his youth and just a good old didn't remember it.
Well, we're so angry because it was very. I mean, we expect Colby and even Daniel to that, and a bit of it to find space and be there to receive. You got to be there to receive the ball when one of the keys or any other defender gets it. So we probably give them a bit of slack. But Logue was just guarding space, and it was very noticeable from where we were. And Jezza just had too long a leash and ran his own race down there, and no one went to him.
Right, let's move on from the Geelong game.
I can't, because there was a question which I forgot to read out when we did our listener pod, the People's Pod, and he basically directed it more at me than you because I've been round a bit longer, seen a few more years, although I will point out I still have got all my hair. Because a few people came up to us and they thought, I thought you'd be bald.
No, you got a full head of hair.
Yeah, it might be the same colour it was when I was younger, but it's still all there. Anyway, I'm pulling it out every time I watch North, pretty much. But he was asking, is this the worst time, or when was other bad periods that I've been following North? Lean periods like we're going through now and have been for the last 6 years. Well, this is by far the worst, to start with. When I first started supporting, we were in the mid-70s in our prime. And then we had a couple of bad years, late 80s, but they weren't this bad or prolonged. We'd never finished last, and we might have been down the bottom for 1 or 2 years and then bounced, or at least showed the promise when we started getting our under-19s, your Longmires, your Careys and those type coming through in the late 80s into early 90s, the Swasses. So you could see some prime stars starting to emerge. And then the other time I could remember was probably under Laidley, where we overperformed on the footy field, but the club was broke. Like, we missed out on Aaron Davey because we couldn't have rookie spots. He ended up going to Melbourne and playing, a couple of hundred games. He would have been great for North. And we just couldn't get him because he was playing, I think we're affiliated with Port Melbourne then. But he was playing basically as a top-up player for an affiliate of our reserves. And, we just couldn't afford it. The club wasn't taking rookies. So we missed out on a really good player. And obviously the whole football department would have been a lot less paid than the bigger clubs who would have had all the bells and whistles, and we didn't have many. But we overperformed on the field, so it wasn't as bad, because at the end of the day, we're here to watch North win and show up every week. and play with true Shimbona spirit, which they did.
Well, see, you haven't really answered you've given a politician answer. You've just waffled
What's the
on.
worst time?
Yeah.
Well, this time. But apart from this, I'd say probably the couple of years in the mid to late 80s, or probably late 80s from memory.
Yes, right. So episode 132 today. For our play numbers, we didn't do last week because there was so much to talk about after that horrific loss. So we'll start with 31. I'll let you go first, as the listeners might pick up that I'm sick, so you're carrying a lot of this pod. So
You're back in the hosting chair, but yeah, you're not good. No.
all no, the boners out there who've got kids will definitely know that when they're in that daycare stage, they bring home everything. So we're relying on you to carry us here. But
Okay.
Your favourite 31.
Well, talk about carrying. This is the bloke who carried North during the magnificent 90s, and it's, of course, Corey McKernan. Fantastic. What we need now, Ruckman Ford or Ford Ruckman. In my belief, he actually revolutionised the ruck. Because a lot of the rucks, as I said earlier, they would, take the tap, then kick behind the play, sort of help out the defence, plug the gaps, whereas Corey ran forward, took marks and kicked goals. I hadn't really seen that. I'd seen Jim Steins be like a ruck and then a ruck rover around the ground, but Corey was a real threat forward, and we had a fairly decent forward line with Horst Longmire up there, and of course Carey, the Duck. I'm allowed to use nicknames?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows who he is. But then we had Corey able to run forward and float in there and take strong marks and kick long goals. He was fantastic and was we're always looking for points of difference. He was a real point of difference in that side compared to all the other sides. Probably typical of North, one of the most unlucky players in history. He lost the Rising Star Award because I think that was a trip. We tripped with his hand, diving to tackle, got the foot. And got a week anyway, lost the award. And you know what that is now?
What?
It's not even a fine. It's a 50-metre penalty, which half the time they don't pay. So it's gone... Just think of that. Back in the 90s, how the penalties with the MRO, or tribunal, whatever you want to call it, most of them have gone up, haven't they? And poor old Corey, the one he got rubbed out for, has gone down to just a 50-metre penalty. One of the few that's gone the other way. And then in 1996, he won the Players Association MVP. Carey had a great year that year as well. So we had two dominant big men. And a lot of people were debating whether he was better than Carey that year. And he should have won in a tie, the Brownlow, but he awkwardly fell into someone's back. A bit like who did that the other day? A couple of weeks ago, I can't remember. Oh, Moore.
Darcy Moore.
Darcy Moore for Collingwood. Remember he fell into his back?
Oh, yes, into Tracy. Dropped the knees.
Yeah, got nothing. Well, Corey did something to paint the picture similar to that. Bit clumsy into Barnes, who was a ruckman for Geelong. And he got a week. And disqualified from the Brownlow.
Ridiculous.
So he's missed the Rising Star and the Brownlow in a space... Well, Rising Star, I think, was 94, Brownlow 96. So in a 3-year period, he's missed two of the biggest awards you can win. Anyway, very unlucky. Played 196 games for North. Had a little stint at Carlton, we're not talking about that. And kicked 250 goals. So over a goal a game as a ruckman forward. He was fantastic.
Right, I'm not going to waffle on for 10 minutes like you did, but I'm going David Hale's probably my favourite 31 that I've seen in my time.
Yep.
Obviously, probably more famous now for what he did after leaving North, but was there during a few finals runs.
Yep. Kicked 7 against Geelong.
He did.
Could have used him last week.
Yeah. Favourite number 32. Well, another lean number for me in my time supporting North. So it's actually probably the man we're going to come up against this weekend, Mason Wood.
Ooh.
Plenty of talent, but couldn't get it all together. But a shout out to Cruz Gartlett. Remember him?
Yes.
Little Cruz.
You went through a few of them the other day. There were lots of that sort of player who'd never really made it, but played a few senior games.
Was Eddie Sansbury number 32?
Sansbury, I think.
Do you know he's Nasiah Wanganeen Miller's dad?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I didn't know that until this week.
Oh, we should have got him to 100.
Yeah, I know.
We should have got him to 100. Would have been handy.
But yeah, probably Mace for me. What about you for the?
Oh, I won't go on as long. Now, Corey is an all-time great and an all-time favourite of mine. So waffled on a bit too much, but he deserved every second we could talk about him. More a favourite than a star, or much more a favourite. But Digby Morrell, a bit of a culture, a bit of a Finbar Maley sort of feel about him back in the day. Only played the 40 games, 191 centimetre, 97 kg type forward, second or third forward. And fun fact, the reserves played at Ulverston down here in Tassie, and the Frog and I and one of the Frog's mates went down and watched him play the Tassie Devils back then when they were playing the VFL, and he was Murray Bush Rangers, who were North affiliated, and he kicked 7. Yeah, so drove an hour down the road to Ulverston and back to watch him. He was a favourite, and we were like, get him in the side. And yeah,
So
just shout out to Fredo and his mate.
then.
No, shout out to Fredo and his mate. I'm still waiting for a bit of petrol money.
Right, let's get into our preview now.
Petrol was about 31 cents a litre back then.
He can pay for the petrol with today's rates, I think, bro. The last time we met the Saints, round 8 last year, we went down by 38 points. The best on that day, Colby and Fish both had 30 off half back. George had 22 and a goal, and my man Cam kicked 3. So looking back to the last time we beat St Kilda, which is 5 years ago, which is a disgrace.
It is disgraceful because they're crap.
Yeah. It was round 1, 2020, so the first round of the COVID year. And we're actually down by...
Hang on, round 1?
Yes.
Well, we never won round 1 under Brad Scott. Oh, no, that was post
It was
him.
the first year he was gone, that's why.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think we won 1 under his tenure, round 1. It wasn't many. Anyway, keep going.
Well, we were down 38 or 39 points at half time. And I remember watching it at work and just thinking, oh, here we go, same old.
On your lunch break, clearly.
No.
Good man.
But the best that day was my man Cunners, who had 25 and kicked 2. And he had one of his typical laconic, just looks like he's having a kick at the local oval, bananas from the pocket. Remember, he used to just sort of not really do a routine and just sort of, But he never missed. He was underrated set shot, Cunners.
It was very good and, just very casual. It's just a footy.
Yeah.
It's just kicking through the goals. It's not that complicated.
So to do a comparison for the NBA fans out there who love Nikola Jokic, he's all about just basketball's my job, but he wants to go to his horses. Cunners is very much like that. Footy's my job. I want to go fishing.
Yeah, it pays for all my fishing gear.
So that's the last time we met.
Except for when you get fined for smacking people in the guts.
Yeah,
he'd be copping weeks now, wouldn't he? Him and Arch. God, Arch would never play.
So that was the last time we beat St Kilda, 5 years ago, which is ridiculous.
Because they're no good.
No. Let's have a look at the midfield battle. The teams haven't been announced yet, but you wouldn't imagine there's many changes in that space. So the ruck will be Bryn Teakle going up against Rowan Marshall, who is a top 5 ruck in the game for mine.
Yeah.
And he's one who has caught X out a couple of times, and from what you were mentioning before, where he goes from the contest and pushes really hard forward because he's a good mark and a good kick.
Yeah, so Tess is going to have to be all over that. And that's exactly, if you watched the game last night, what the big dogs ruckman did.
Tim English,
who, just ran forward all the time. And they had a massive forward line. Anyway, we're not talking about them, but that's how Marshall will play. And English is not a great ruckman anymore, but he is a good mark, and that's his one wood, if you like. So he tries to exploit it, and I reckon Marshall will try and exploit Testicle the same way.
So have a look at our midfield mix. LDU, Powell, Wardlaw's back in, Harry. I'd like to see Parker probably play a few less centre bounce attendances and get a mix of Harry and Foss back in there. And the Saints midfield's a little bit one-dimensional outside of Wanganeen Miller. They've got Jack Steele, Marcus Windhager, Zach Jones, Jack McRae, and then Sinclair plays through there occasionally. But Windhager's their main tagger, and I assume he'll go to Davies Uniacke, I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree. And Sinclair's one who's torn us apart before. He plays off half back, and then they'll throw him in the midfield when they need a spark, and he can be very dangerous. But I think it's him and the man of the moment, Naz. The two we've got to really watch.
Well, there was damning footage on all the shows about midfield falling asleep and not being accountable, and he'll be on cloud nine. He was on Ross's shoulders Sunday night. He had, 33 and kicked 4 last week.
Yeah.
So, my God, I'm not saying we have to send a tag, but whoever's on him has to be defensively accountable, that's for sure.
Well, who do we send to him if he does get off the chain? Who can play that role?
Well,
Probably. He's a bit young, but maybe Foss. He's played half back.
yeah, that's not a bad option because none of our mids are really...
We can't send Will Phil, not that we expect him to be named, but he's named on the extended bench as we speak. He's way too slow.
Well, that's what I was thinking with Parker. Like, he'd probably be a defensive, but he would get killed on the spread.
Yeah, we'll just have to body him and try and stop him from the spread. But for those keen football watchers, if you watched any of last night's game, the umpires are very happy on the whistle in marking contests particularly, and the holding round the stoppages. So just be aware of that, North. They're very whistle happy. And I'm not going to go into personalities of the umpires, or who they are, but I've had a look at who's umpiring.
We might have someone from last week.
We've got someone from last week, and I'm not overly happy, but we'll leave it at that.
Right, so the teams are about to drop, so I'm going to bring forward Baz's big call.
Yes.
So we can talk about the matchups when we have a better idea. But for this week, I'm going Wardlaw will be best on ground. There you go. That's my big call. I think he comes back in. I think he'll be looking a few of them in the eye and questioning some of the efforts from last week. I think he will lead the way and be our best player.
Yeah, he'll certainly bring the effort.
Right, hang on. The teams have dropped, so let's get our live reaction, Chief. So out, we've got Jai Simpkin, Finbar Maley. We knew those two. With Jai injured or illness. It says injured here, but it was illness apparently yesterday. Finbar omitted. And Will Dawson's been dropped. And in comes Nick Larkey, George Wardlaw, and Cooper Harvey. So, do you want to go off the long run first, or do you want me?
Well, why has Dawson been dropped?
Well, it's a disgrace. I'm sick of this club. It drives me nuts. We just, let's blame the 8-gamer and let someone who has been in shocking form, had no defensive accountability, he stays in the team. Griffin Logue. Let's name names. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
No Geordie Payne. Why is Constanti still in?
Yeah, should have been Payne in for Casanti for sure. Casanti's played every game this year and he's had some okay form, but last week was not okay. And Payne's kicked 4 in the bloody reserves and had 9 tackles. What more can he do? Let's get him in. What are you doing, Clarko? We've got the same with Dawson and Logue. If it's a 50-50 call, I'm picking the youth.
So am I. I'm picking the guy who's going to play 200 games for us, not the one who's a stopgap.
Yep, exactly. And Logue's form's been poor, and he's been dropped previously.
Exactly.
The two last week.
Do you know
I know who I'd take.
Do you know the stretch where we played really well for about 6 weeks?
Logue wasn't playing.
Correct. Anyway, yeah, it's ridiculous. But having a look at St Kilda's changes, so they've dropped Ari Schoenmaker and Lance Collard, and they've brought in Hugo Garcia and Max Heath, who's 204 centimetres. Would have been a perfect matchup for Will Dawson.
So who's going to him? Logue.
Oh no, Chom.
Oh,
Chom will have to go to him.
Chom will go to him. Chom's going back. So they had to drop one of the tall backs, but I'd still drop Logue. Get some games into the shotgun.
Yeah, but I'm just happy. On the positive note, great to have Nick Larkey back.
Yes.
Great to have George back and Cooper Harvey as well, who missed last week through illness.
Yep, and knows where the goals are, Coop.
Right, so let's have a look at matchups. We've covered the midfield, so let's have a look at our defence and find out who's going where. So we mentioned Max Heath. I think Chom will get that matchup. Their other tall forwards, they've got Cooper Sharman, who is 193 centimetres, and Mitch Owen, who's 191. So I think Pink will probably go to Sharman and Logue on Owens. That just
I think Owens gets up the ground. I'll go the opposite. I think Owens gets up the ground. Owens is a better talent, although Sharman can catch teams out, can't he?
But
either way, they bloody Logue better play on someone. I know Clarko likes the assertive defence, but I don't know. We've got to learn to defend, don't we? We've got to see who wants to defend.
We do. And Mason Wood floats forward as well, so
it's a big. If he normally, well, when I've last watched him, he was coming off the wing, wasn't he? Defensive winger, attacking winger.
But he's been rotating. When they were playing a bit shorter, he was playing out a full forward.
Yes, he was. But if he's on the wing, he'll take marks both ends of the ground. So, who goes to him? Is big game still there? He wasn't
still
dropped.
named.
Yeah, so maybe a big game can go to him.
Very well could do. But
Or very similar style of players, whether Zane's got the tank to run out the game, because Mace Wood, remember, used to always win our time trials.
Yeah, I'd probably send Foss to him if Foss is playing on the wing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
he's a bit taller than Foss.
St Kilda's most dangerous forward, we haven't mentioned yet, and someone who loves filling his boots against the boners is Jack Higgins.
Yep.
So that'll be a tough one because usually it would be an Archer or an Ilmac.
Yep.
So who do you reckon they'll send to him?
Oh, jeez.
I think probably Hardiman.
Yeah, good call. Yep.
So
Who's left there? Who's Daniel going to not play on?
as Zach Jones or Jack Steele's been playing forward a bit, so their heights.
And to be measured, we better say Colby as well.
Yeah. Don't want any Tasmanian bias.
No.
Coming
but
through.
at least Colby will give us some drive out of there. Well, you said he was training with the forwards.
Well, that's what our man... was it Kanga Merchant? I don't know. Actually, I apologise. Whoever was at training was reporting that he was training with the forwards, which scares the crap out of me because I don't know who's using it out of there if he's not playing there.
Yeah, true. Unless they actually really get Siffy to take it.
Well,
I
don't want to see him play half forward. He couldn't do it before.
No.
Stupid. Either midfield or half back.
Yeah, I like to see him have a run through the midfield.
So would I. Anyway, let's have a look at the forward line. So, different beast now with Nick Larkey back.
Yes.
I think credit to Zerha. He's carried us as the number one forward down there while Souv was out, but it'll help him free up as well. So we've got the three tall attack of Larkey, Darling, and then Zerha if you count him as a third tall, which you probably don't. And then a bit of a small fleet. We've got Bench, we've got Hanson Jr., Constanti, Cooper Harvey as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, PC. So
Yeah.
probably the most typical small forwards we've played in a very long time.
Yeah, it's smaller, mobile, isn't it? I'm glad Banch has got another go. He didn't do a lot last week, but hopefully...
I thought he was pretty good. I thought
he
he
didn't
was
do a
our
lot.
best 10 players.
No one did a lot.
Well, I'll tell you what. He sat under it.
Yeah,
They just kicked it on his head.
he didn't shirk the issue. But hopefully he can go back to more of his natural role of being a small forward crummer or an out the back, kick it into space and use his wheels to run onto it, rather than sitting under the high ball at half back.
But having a look at the matchups, so you'd imagine Cal Wilkie will go to Nick Larkey.
Yep.
Who he doesn't lose many one-on-ones, Wilkie, so we'll have to hit Larkey up on the lead. Caminiti will probably go to Darling as the second option, and then this is where I always say we can expose it. But I'd like you look at who would take Zerhart's probably Alex Tarou, the man we wanted. I mean, he's played a handful of games. He's looked good, but he's still young. And then they're a bit exposed after that, so probably a Liam Stocker on a Paul Curtis, which I'll be backing day in, day out.
Straight to the cage.
Oh, yeah.
PC's so dangerous. He's so good. He's one of my favourites.
The thing I don't want to see
I think there's a bag in him.
I don't want to see us be... Oh, Larky's back in the side. Let's kick 25 inside 50 entries to him.
No. Well, that'll be 25 out of... What did we have last week? About 31.
Yeah. Well,
so hopefully we get a few more to start with. Because I think our midfield, dare I say it...
No, I'm not backing out midfield against anyone.
Like, well...
They are underachievers. Is so
well, they're no good defensively, but if we can get first hands on the ball...
We're not
but it's
getting
harder,
first hands without X.
Without X. It all revolves around my man, pretty much.
That's why I'm putting a big C on him next year.
I want to go back to Clarko. Why hasn't Casanti and Payne swapped?
Well, it's ridiculous. He's out of contract. Constanti hit a trigger for next year. He's going to be on the list.
That's right.
Payne a
so
go.
he can have a couple of weeks off and actually try Payne.
And why are we playing Dill Stevens again? My man Sausage, although he went for scans on his shoulder.
Yeah, so
which is, for God's sake, this bloke must have walked under 50 ladders.
Yeah.
Have 6 black cats living outside his house because he's got the worst luck. And
yeah,
you know, I think it was podcast 1, or if not 1, then 2, that we adopted him as our man. Well, particularly me, my man.
Oh, okay.
And he's having the worst luck. So
Yeah.
our thoughts are with you, Braden, if you're listening, and we really hope that there's some good news in terms of the scan and that he can hopefully debut in the last month of the season.
Yes. Is that it for rundown of matchups, or we've got to get into the tipping?
Well, we do, but I'm just really frustrated. I don't know how else to. But the sad part about it is you expected it, and I'm talking about the team selection and just the lack of axe being swung and having an 8-9 gamer be the one that gets omitted. And like the two omissions were him and Finbar.
Yeah, I can understand Finbar, but not Shotgun as much.
Well, Finbar, unfortunately, Nick Larkey comes in, so it makes sense. But
I mean, obviously, when I say not Shotgun, we couldn't be too top heavy in the back line, but it had to be Logue over Shotgun.
Agreed. Yeah, that's what we're saying. So,
and I can't believe, I know I've only just said it, I'm not going to say it again, how Payne didn't deserve a call-up. I mean, he's been pretty good this year in the VFL. Well, he's had pretty solid form all year. I mean, form goes up and down a little bit, but he's pretty solid. He's had a run in the midfield. He's a tackling machine. He's got a senior body. And Cassandi's had plenty of opportunities at senior level. I know, that's what I'm saying. And I just think Payne...
Well, it's a piss take. There's just no reward for form in the VFL. Cooper Harvey took him forever to get in, and look what he's done since he's come in.
Yeah, and I know you can say Harvey doesn't bring the tackling pressure, but Payne will. So it's like for like, except Payne's in form, goal-kicking form at the moment.
He kicked 4 goals and had 9 tackles.
Yeah.
As a small forward.
Yep.
What more do you have to do?
And if you've got injury concerns or whatever, he could also, have a run through the midfield if needed, like if we got a couple of injuries. Whereas I don't think you can do that with Cassandi.
I wouldn't have thought so, but it's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Supporters and
hopefully
would have brought a bit of life into it as well. It's always good to see someone debut and supporters everywhere crying to see Payne given a go.
Yes. Yeah, Clarko, I don't know what he's done to Clarko. He's clearly not washing his car.
No, he must be keying it, I think. That's the only reasonable explanation as to why he's not playing.
Yep.
Right, let's get into the tipping. Thanks to our partners again, SC Rings. Just loading it up now to see if anyone got a 9 last week. And it's not loading, so that's great. But let's have a look at the leaderboard. So Hayden T94's in first place, and then Bulls Cooking in second, who we met the other night, Chief.
Yes, we did. That was very good. He came in, said hello to us, up on the magnificent level 2.
Right, so let's see who tipped 9 last week. So Sam Demison, Let's Go, Kezo, Josh Freestone, Lonnie Boy.
Yep.
Ben's Tigers 13, The Darlings, Gino, Jonathan T, Denman, David Buttigieg, Flopster 77. So 11 people tipped 9.
That's pretty good going.
It is. Right, so we both tipped the Dogs last night. Let's get into the game that matters. The Kangaroos against the Saints at Marvel.
Yes, well, I'm back up and about because the Kangas are going to come back. They've got to show something. Clarko didn't wield the axe hard enough, and we've gone over that enough. But these players who have been selected, the 23, they better bloody perform. This is a team we should be... we're on an even keel with. It's not Geelong last week who are in premiership mode. This is a rebuilding team who have been a bloody basket case forever, and we should be competitive. And I want to see competitive at the very least. There's time to get a win.
I agree. I've got us winning by 15 points, and we just simply have to. You're going to keep backing the senior players. I want to take a close look at the midfield, and I'm zeroing in on LDU. I know he's probably going to get tagged. Tommy Powell and the group in there. So much high-end talent. The Saints are so one-dimensional outside of Wanganeen Miller that if they're going to get beaten by McRae and Steele on that, then they've drank their own bathwater. Like we've constantly said on this pod how good our midfield can be, but they've all regressed.
Yeah.
Well, tell me one midfielder who's improved this year.
Can't. No. And Tommy Power was named on the bench, so he was obviously close to having the axe fall his way, I'd suggest.
Well, he's got some defensive things to fix up as well. But
so, and the Saints they can be a fast ball movement team.
well, I think we can catch them out because you have a look at the celebrations. Naz on and guess what they're doing before the game?
Well,
they're playing the whole last quarter.
Yep.
So they could be complacent. Oh, how good's this? We're going up against North.
Yep.
That should be enough motivation to have a fair dinkum crack. And if I see George start on the bench, I'll spew. Get him in there first bounce. I want to see him nose in the trough straight into it. And I think Larky's a big in.
Yep.
He'll probably be captain on the weekend, I imagine, in Jai's absence.
Yep.
So he'll be able to lead the group. I think he's probably going to be playing, but a little bit injured still. But just compete is the big one for him. I don't want to see him get outmarked. So
no, and I think it's a really good chance for us to win. We had this circled a while back.
We have more talent than St Kilda.
Yeah, it's just whether we can play as a team. Because I think that's half the problem with the midfield. Or they're just one-way players. They're not defensively minded enough. I'll go the same. I'll go 18 points, three goals. I'll be very disappointed if we don't win, and it'll be the toys will go out of the cot if we get flogged.
Oh, tune in if we get flogged Monday night because it'll be Home Truth City.
Yeah, because they're not. Who are they missing? King. Is he the only player of note they're missing? And we're missing what? Jai.
Lex.
Oh, of course.
Archer. There's a few.
Yeah, well, yes. There's a couple.
Yeah, but obviously we're not on video. You sort of screwed your face when I said Archer, and a lot of supporters but he's important.
He is important. He's one of my men, but I'm saying it's not as if he's a 100-game player.
No.
And it's not as if he's a top 10 draft pick, but he didn't need to be because he will bring the effort, as will all the CCC. So we're missing too many CCC.
Well, they're all out there this week except X.
And Archer,
of course. Yeah. Right, let's get into the rest of the round. So tonight, Adelaide hopefully will absolutely flog Hawthorn.
Yeah, I've tipped the Crom.
Just fire through, if I can speak, these three horrific games tomorrow. We'll both have Melbourne, both have the Suns, and both have the Swans. Saturday night, Pies and the Lions. Who have you got in that one?
I've got the Pies because it's at the G.
Likewise, we've both got the Kangas, we'll both go the Cats, and no doubt both go the Dockers. So a pretty boring round of footy, really.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit closer, but you've done my tips.
So you haven't Port aren't beating Geelong at Cardinia.
No, they're not.
Carlton aren't beating Freo over there.
No, they're not.
Exactly. So
sorry. Yeah, there's a couple of close games like Brisbane and Collingwood, and the one last night I tipped the Dogs, but there was no faith. I think my points margin I brought down to 1, and they've won by almost 100.
Oh boy.
Haven't they? I can't remember. I watched most of that game.
Right, that's just about us then, Chief. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed on the different listening platforms. Really appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with my croaky, sick voice and for your waffling.
You've done a good job hosting when you're just somehow got out of your deathbed.
Oh, you got to keep carrying on, can't
you?
We can't say to these players not to keep push through injury or something if I'm gonna soak it up with a bit of a cold.
That's exactly right. All right, well, I'm looking forward. Quick shout out to the AFLW, the undisputed defending champions of the world, who are playing the Filth at Windy Hill tomorrow in an official practice match. So hopefully normal viewing resumes and they flog them.
Yeah, and good luck to anyone playing the VFL. Won't matter anyway.
What?
Well, they don't pick them. Even if you're playing well, who cares?
Yeah.
Form doesn't get rewarded. That's my biggest takeaway.
Yes, it is. And we're just going back to that. I mentioned this on the pod before. When John Kennedy, Senior, Kanga, was coaching North in the 80s, late 80s, into the 90s, we had a shocking performance and he dropped half the team and brought in the reserves. He wasn't putting up with shit. He was the... don't say what is just do. Don't think. Hope. Do. He'd do something. Well, he did something. He dropped half the team, brought in the reserves, and they bloody won. And that was back in the 80s, late 80s.
Well, Clarko loves to reference him. Maybe.
Clarko would have been under him, I reckon, very early days. So, he was. Yeah, because that was the infamous Battle of Britain. Kanga was coach then, and Clarko played, and smashed half the Carlton team's jaws. Anyway, enough waffle. Hopefully a big win. Just a win will do. Ghana Kangas.
We'll be back Monday to review the game. Until next time, go Roos!
Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win.